Chapter 38. Quodid Great King. All the cultivators looked coldly at Qinzai Bai, and the gold-robed man who had just struck out was also recognized. Quodid Great King, you dare to go against me? Qinzai Bai's eyes glared. The gold-robed man looked at Qinzai Bai coldly. Qinzai Bai, you are new to the Middle Heavenly Palace. I am also new to the Middle Heavenly Palace, and I have come here to the Dragon Vein City in order to devour the Dragon Vein. Hehe. I felt strange before. What qualifications do you have to come and compete for the Dragon Vein? You were a disciple of the Doyuan Qing clan. Humph. So the Dragon Vein I was looking for was all made up by you and He Yan. The crowd of cultivators looked coldly at Shi Yan and Qinzai Bai. Who said it was made up? It was this bastard Gu Hai who made it up. And you believe it too? Killing a nosy one halfway. Qinzai Bai said in a depressed and incomparable manner. Hey, I don't believe you now. Quodid the Great King sneered. You don't believe me. You believe him. Qinzai Bai said in a depressed manner. I don't believe him either. Quodid Great King said coldly. Qinzai Bai frowned slightly. Indeed, Zhao Great King's attitude was the attitude of everyone here, not believing in Qinzai Bai, and likewise not believing in Gu Hai. But Gu Hai spoke of a doubt that was clogging everyone's mind. Was his trip really just a ploy? Qinzai Bai coldly looked at Gu Hai. Gu Hai, however, returned a light smile. Qinzai Bai, you think you can still hide it? Humph, what am I hiding? Gu Hai, just go ahead and make it up. They can protect you now. When it comes to poking holes in your lies, they want to kill you even more than I do. Believe it or not, Qinzai Bai sneered. Qinzai Bai was right. If Gu Hai couldn't give the crowd an explanation, then the enemy wouldn't just be Qinzai Bai. Gu Hai looked at the crowd of cultivators around him, and the crowd of cultivators also looked at Gu Hai coldly. Mr. Gu, you just said half of what you said. Are you please finishing it? The new Dragon Vein, is it a fake? Quodid Great King said in a cold voice. How can a Dragon Vein be fake? It's not my Dragon Vein at all. He Yan roared in a depressed manner. This time, He Yan did not lie. It was indeed not his own Dragon Vein. But now, the crowd did not believe He Yan. Gu Hai, however, nodded his head with great certainty. Gu Hai, you're making it up. He Yan glared. Hehe, making things up. He Yan, how about you call out your Dragon Vein and show everyone? Gu Hai sneered. Even if you called it out, so what? It wouldn't prove that the previous Dragon Roar wasn't He Yan's Dragon Vein. Gu Hai had already thought of the wording. Humph. He Yan let out a cold snort. Dragon Vein called out. As long as it was called out, then it would definitely be snatched by this group of people, especially when a Quodid Great King came out. Besides, Shi Yan's Dragon Vein still had a use. Gu Hai saw that Shi Yan was unwilling, but he suddenly smiled and didn't care. Gu Hai guessed that He Yan and Qinzai Bai came here. There must be something, but what exactly? Gu Hai didn't know. But it doesn't matter. If you guys want to hide it, then hide it. I don't know. I can make it up for you guys all. Gu Hai, under this Dragon Vein city, there really isn't a Dragon Vein. Another cultivator said anxiously. If there was no Dragon Vein, wouldn't he have run for a nothing? All that hard work and nothing to show for it. The crowd was harboring fire in their hearts, not wanting to trust Gu Hai, wanting to come together to demolish Gu Hai for good. Gu Hai looked at the crowd and shook his head. There is no Dragon Vein, however, underneath this Dragon Vein city. There is something even more precious than a Dragon Vein, 10 times more precious, or even 100 times more precious. The surrounding cultivators raised their eyebrows. Qinzai Bai and Shi Yan's faces sank. Quadmaster Jail, however, steeply narrowed his eyes, because Quadmaster Jail had been paying attention to Qinzai Bai and Shi Yan, and that sudden change in the two's expressions however, made Quad Master Jail suddenly believe in Gu Hai. What is it? The crowd eagerly looked at Gu Hai. Treasure, right? What exactly is the treasure? But I don't know yet, because I haven't seen it either. Perhaps Shi Yan and Qin Zaibai know. Gu Hai shook his head and said, "Oh." The crowd looked at the duo. "What treasure is there, Gu Hai? Don't talk nonsense." Qin Zibai's eyes glared, as if he was about to strike again. "Who?" Quodid Great King instantly blocked in front of Gu Hai, and coldly looked at Qin Zibai. "Qin Zibai, let Gu Hai finish." Qin Zibai's eyes were annoyed. The surrounding cultivators were guarding Gu Hai intently. It was even more of a depressing feeling for Qin Zibai. Underground treasure. Who told you there was one? Quodid Great King looked at Gu Hai with cold eyes. "Hey, Drought Demon Flame, gentlemen, if you have the ability to prove that what I'm saying is false, you can go down and take a look. Who's been down there? There isn't one, is there? How many years has the Death Grave Valley been here? Who do you see who has dug up the Death Grave Valley?" Gu Hai said in a cold voice. No one has dug it open, because the drought demon fire is too fierce, right? Secondly, have you all ever wondered about the city? Why was a dragon vein city forged in a short period of time? Who built it? Gu Hai said in a cold voice. The crowd of powerhouses raised their eyebrows and looked at Shi Yan together. "I came early and saw the soldiers of the former great brilliant imperial dynasty building a city. I came even earlier and saw the soldiers of the great Yuan imperial dynasty building a city and renting it to us." Saying that, everyone frowned at Qin Zibai and Shi Yan. It was indeed weird. They inexplicably came to build a city. What's under the city? I don't know, but I think Qin Zibai should know, right? Otherwise, what are you doing building a city and tricking everyone with Heiyan's dragon vein? What exactly is your purpose? Gu Hai sneered. You fart. I didn't even use the dragon vein to attract everyone, Heiyan said angrily. Gu Hai laughed coldly as he looked at Shi Yan and didn't say anything. He just watched coldly. As expected, the crowd didn't believe Shi Yan's words and believed Gu Hai's words. One more point. Heh, Gu Hai, you're really good at making things up. There's a treasure underneath the city. Heh, where is the treasure? You find it for me. Qin Zibai instantly said angrily. If you have the guts to find it for me, so what if I find it for you? Do you dare? Dragon Pulse City, newly built, shouldn't have many secrets, right? Do you dare to find it for me? Gu Hai said in a cold voice. The surrounding crowd raised their eyebrows slightly. If Gu Hai had made it up, how could he have that much confidence? If it was made up, shouldn't Gu Hai want to escape as soon as possible? Wouldn't he have crashed in head first and entered Dragon Vein City? You still want to escape. Gu Hai didn't flee and had to expose Qin Zibai's plot. Instead, it made the crowd believe in Gu Hai even more. Humph, HMPH, Gu Hai, what if you can't find it? Qin Zibai glared angrily. On the side, Quodid Great King coldly said, if Gu Hai can't find it, you don't have to do anything. I'll rip his head off. Qin Zibai frowned at Great King Jail. Great King's attitude was everyone's attitude. If Gu Hai was just lying, none of the people would give him a good look. What? Qin Zibai, you have a ghost in your heart and don't dare to find it for me. Gu Hai sneered. Qin Zibai's eyes were slightly red, and he indeed didn't want to find it for Gu Hai in Dragon Pulse City. However, all the cultivators were looking at Qin Zibai dead on. If Qin Zibai didn't agree, he would be going against everyone in general. Good, ha, good. I'll let you find it. So what? A treasure. I'll see how you find out a treasure. The only thing you'll find is your destruction. Qin Zibai glared chillingly. In that case, I'll be polite. I'll search with all my might. I only hope all of you will cooperate with me. Gu Hai looked towards the group of cultivators. Quodid Great King said in a cold voice, "Cooperate with you." "Oh, I'll cooperate with you with all my might and follow you. If I can't find your so-called treasure, I'll rip your head off." The surrounding group of cultivators all looked at Gu Hai with cold eyes. A trace of worrying flashed in the eyes of Fairy One on the side. Then it couldn't be better. Gu Hai smiled faintly. Humph. Qin Zibai let out a cold snort. No matter how annoyed Qin Zibai and Shi Yun were, Gu Hai was indeed safe now. All the cultivators escorted Gu Hai, gaining valuable breathing time for Gu Hai. "Fairy Warner, since you're safe, you can go now." Gu Hai looked towards Fairy Warner and smiled. To the side, a complex color flashed in Fairy Warner's eyes. Gu Hai had come to save himself, and now that he was saved, he was safe. However, Gu Hai, he was deeply imprisoned. He can't get away. A life for a life. Fairy One opened her mouth, but the words that came to her mouth were swallowed. "Humph, who asked you to save me? I don't appreciate your favor." Fairy One let out a cold snort. Boom. The One Fairy brought the Qin figurine with her and instantly flew up into the sky, flying off into the distance and disappearing in the twinkling of an eye. Ha ha ha, Gu Hai, you racked your brain to save Fairy Warner, trying to win the heart of a beautiful woman. Did you see that? She doesn't appreciate you at all. Ridiculous, ridiculous, Shi Yin sneered from the side. Gu Hai saw that Fairy Warner was far away, but he let out a light breath and didn't care. Not far away, on top of a mountain peak. Qing Feng frowned. Fairy Warner. She's not bad for the Taishang lineage. Someone who wants to be a Taishang in the future. Sure enough, she's desperate. The white-clothed boy, however, shook his head and said, Heh, you're wrong, Wana. She's smart. At this time, the only way to leave in desperation is to have a chance to save Gu Hai in turn. Oh, Qing Feng was surprised. Let's go. Gu Hai, go find it her, Qin Zibai said in a cold voice. Gu Hai smiled faintly and didn't pay any attention to it, but instead looked to the back and said, When you can come over now. Coming, Long Wen Yu immediately said excitedly. County Master. It's dangerous there, let's. Sima Feng worriedly stopped Long Wen Yu. Gu Hai was already behind bars. How could he still drag the county mistress down? Sima Feng, are you the county lord, or am I the county lord? Stop me again, and go back from where you came from. I don't want your protection. Long Wen Yu instantly became angry. Sima Feng smiled slightly bitterly, and was helpless for a while. One could only hope that Gu Hai wasn't risking his body. Ancient Sea got on Long Wen Yu's flying boat. Under the watchful eyes of Qin Zibai, Shi Yan, Zhao Great King, and a group of cultivators, it slowly headed in the direction of Dragon Vein City, the mountain peak where Li Shenji was located. Dodged by him again. Humph. Li Shenji looked at Gu Hai's back with a cold snort, his heart bursting with annoyance. On top of another mountain peak, the white-clothed young man squinted at Li Shenji, who was not far away, revealing a cold smile. Great Qian's Li Shenji. Hey, that's a good plan. Unfortunately, in the end, someone is better at chess. Young lord, what do we do now? Qing Feng frowned. Let's go take a look too. The white-clothed young man said in a tone that could not be refused.